Star Citizen is a game that is still in an alpha state of release, and as such, it's no secret that there are plenty of bugs to be found around the verse. And while some of them can be quite hilarious to encounter, others can be so frustrating to deal with. Unfortunately, some of the more frustrating bugs can be a major source of issues for newer players, and can cause people to quit the game before fully giving it a chance. However, most of these bigger issues do have workarounds, which let you avoid them most of the time. So without any further ado, let's talk about the 5 most frustrating bugs that I could think of in Star Citizen. Let's kick this off with the big one: elevators. Elevators are absolutely deadly. They're possibly the most deadly thing in the entire verse. They are absolutely murderous, and they can and will kill you without any hesitation. Have you ever walked into an elevator shaft only to have the entire floor vanish underneath you, sending you plummeting into the cold, unfeeling void below? Or maybe the doors just don't open back up again once you're in the elevator, leaving you trapped in there. Oh, and there's also that really fun occurrence when an elevator kidnaps you from inside a space station and deposits you outside the space station, whether or not you're wearing a helmet. Thankfully, elevators are actually one of the issues that's fairly easily avoided. There is a certain technique to it though, and a few things to remember. So just follow these 3 steps and you should be fine. Step 1, never stand too close to elevator doors before they open. Step 2, always check inside the elevator after the doors open to make sure that the floor actually exists. Step 3, if the elevator just opens into an inky black void, you can crouch walk and peek inside the elevator to see if there is actually an interior or if it's just a hole down into the center of the planet. Step 4, you die anyways because the elevator doors close on your head and cut you in half. Good luck with elevators! The next item on our list is the floor. Yes, you heard me correctly. The floor, I'm being 100% serious. Anywhere that the floor is uneven, things like ramps, stairs, small pebbles can potentially be deadly. If you're moving quickly and there's some kind of issue with the collision, it can just instantly kill you, incapacitate you, or deal a fair amount of damage to you. And that could be really annoying if you're just going along a seemingly flat corridor and just suddenly die out of nowhere. Usually, the way to avoid this is if the floor is ever uneven, things like stairs, rocky terrain, stuff like that, avoid sprinting as it does increase your risk of dying. Sometimes if you're not sprinting, you can still take damage, but usually it's not as much and you can actually survive, or at least have time to heal yourself with a med pen before you die and have to backspace, respawn, and lose all your progress. So that's how to avoid the floor. The third item on my list of Star Citizen's most frustrating bugs is Desync. This is something that is kind of intermittent. You're never really going to understand if it's going to happen or if it's not going to happen. It's a little less consistent. And there are a couple telltale signs though, usually by looking at the NPCs. If you see NPCs standing on chairs, walking into walls, or otherwise doing weird things, the server that you're on may be fairly desynced. This can result in being shot by ships that you can't see, crashing into ships that you can't see, crashing into asteroids that you can't see, running into people that you can't see, and generally seeing things teleporting or not being where they're supposed to be. This can be extremely frustrating and can cause a lot of issues, but if you end up on a server that is fairly desynced, which can usually be told by looking at the NPCs, the easy fix is just to move to a different server before you go out and start doing your stuff and accidentally run into a invisible asteroid. So that's how to avoid desync. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is vehicular issues, and these are another thing that has been getting improved on recently, but they are still there. This generally encompasses issues like your ship not being able to be stored at a station and just having to claim it, losing everything that's on the ship, your ship not being able to refuel or rearm at a station, after taking damage to your ship, when you repair it, for some reason the engines don't come back, the ship suddenly going into a glitch state and duplicating itself in your ASOP terminal. All of these are issues that I kind of bundle under vehicular issues. These are fairly few and far between, but when it does happen, it can be really annoying because it can just completely make you unable to use one of your ships, or sometimes make you lose an entire ship's worth of cargo to something that's not really under your control. And if this happens to you and you only have 1 or 2 ships, and a ship becomes suddenly unusable because the engines just don't come back when you repair it or something, sometimes the only way to fix it is to completely get a character reset. And that is frustrating. Number 5. Finally, and the most well-known and most frustrating issue in all of Star Citizen is the mighty 30K. This is an issue that can pop up without warning. It is very hard to detect. If it happens, it risks loss of hours of progress, as it is an entire full server crash. Everything goes out the window here. Sometimes it even crashes you to desktop, completely cutting you out of the client entirely, and I've had a couple occasions where a 30K has actually crashed my entire computer. These are not to be trifled with. CIG has added in a 30K crash recovery system, which has helped a lot, as usually maybe it takes a few minutes, but you can get your ship back, but sometimes it doesn't work. That threat of losing potentially hours of progress to just like that is terrifying, and is one of the most frustrating things in all of Star Citizen for me. It's also extremely hard to avoid, as by the time the signs of a 30K are actually happening, it's usually too late. There's usually nothing you can do. All you can realistically do when this happens is get on your knees and pray to Chris Roberts that the crash recovery works properly. So that is my list of my picks for the 5 most frustrating bugs and glitches in Star Citizen. But that's just what I think. I know that there are a lot more that you guys have probably experienced and found kind of frustrating. So please let me know down in the comments, what is the most frustrating issue in Star Citizen for you personally? I look forward to hearing all of your comments, and I'll try to respond to as many as I possibly can. Thank you all so very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like down in the description, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I really appreciate it. Also, feel free to join my Discord server to come chat with me and other amazing people in this community, and join the channel membership if you're not there already to help support me and my channel and making more videos like this. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the verse.